Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to do a quick review of our standard clock design, just so we can refresh our memories and see what's going on. So here we go. As always, we start with a sketch. I'm going to put it on the XY plane, and I will put in a center rectangle just to make my mechanism. Now I happen to remember that the dimensions of the mechanism are 56 by 56 millimeters. So I'll dial that in, and everything turns from blue to black because I've constrained. And you can see the constraints there right on the screen. Nice, nice. All right, let's add some fillets to these corners here. So I'm going to invoke the fillet command, and I'm going to click all of the corners because they all need to be filleted in, and they need to be filleted in by 9 millimeters. So I'll type that in, and there it goes, and I hit enter, and it locks in all of my dimensions. Everything's black, which is great. Okay, so I'll finish that sketch, and I've now got a 2D sketch. I need to extrude that, so I'll invoke the extrude command, and I'm going to pull that up by about 15 millimeters. I think that's the actual depth of that component or that part, and I'm going to say new component. When you're using the extrude command, it's always a good idea to check the operation that you're running to make sure you're not doing the wrong thing. In this case, I want a new component. Components, as you already know, are very important for making joints and for viewing things in isolation and so on. Okay, another best practice here. I'm going to name my sketch and my component so that I can, just remember what's connected to what. So this is my mechanism. So I'll call that mechanism, and then I'll change the name of the component that I just created to mechanism as well. And that just tells me that whenever I want to make a change to the mechanism, I can come back to the mechanism sketch, and it's going to work just fine. All right, well, the mechanism needs a shaft, the clock shaft that turns the hands of the clock, so I'm going to add that now. I'm going to create a new sketch on this face. You can create sketches, of course, on any plane or face, so I will bring up the sketch command, click here, and I'm in the sketch environment once again. In this case, I've got the sketch geometry that was formed by the mechanism that's kind of poking through. I can see it. I'm going to invoke the center circle command, and I'm going to click on that known geometry. If I zoom in, you can see there it is. There's my origin point. I'm going to pull that out, and I'm going to make that 6 millimeters. And that happens to be the diameter of the shaft for the clock, which I've measured. And when I go out of the sketch environment and back into the design workspace, I can see that I've got a sketch sitting on top. If it doesn't show up, just turn it on or off to make sure it shows up. I will hit extrude again and select the sketch profile that I want to pull up. I'm going to pull that up by 9 millimeters, and there we go. Now you'll notice that I told it to join. If you go in here and if I edit this feature, you'll see that I actually invoked the join command. That's because I want the shaft to fuse into the clock mechanism so they're all one thing, so that I can move it around and it's all one happy little part. If you look inside the mechanism component, if you twirl down the disclosure triangle, inside that component, you'll see that you've actually got a body there. It's just one body because we joined it together. Had I made two things, then I would have seen two bodies. But I've only got one. That's great. I have now made my mechanism, and that's just terrific. I'm happy here. All right, so I will leave that there on the design surface. That is how we make the mechanism. In the next video clip, I will show you then how to make a very easy clock face. So there it is. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining me.